I'd like to call the O.J. Roberts Board of School Directors Reorganization meeting to order, 7:30 p.m. Would everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance of the flag? Sorry. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. And please remain standing for a moment of silence. Please be seated. Agenda item 3.1, notice of organization meeting. The board, by roll call vote, established a board meeting date, place, and purpose of this meeting at the official school board meeting held on December 3rd, 2012. Proper notices have been posted on the administration building bulletin board, the front entrance of the administration building, and all educational centers 24 hours prior to the reorganization meeting date. Each school board member has been properly notified in writing at least 5 days in advance, as per section 402 of the school code, of the meeting date, place, and purpose of the reorganization meeting. Moving on to agenda item 4.1, are there any comments from the public? Seeing none, we will receive nominations for election of a temporary president. Are there any nominations?
Mrs. Carmine, I'd like to nominate Mr. Hughes as temporary president.
Mr. Hughes? Are there any further nominations for temporary president? Thank you. May I have a second? Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. I'll turn the meeting over to Mr. Hughes.
Thank you, Mrs. Carmine. That'll move us to item 6.1, acknowledge receipt of certificate of elections administering the oath of office for newly elected school board members. Do you need a motion for that?
Yes, please.
So moved.
Any discussion? Second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. This time we'll administer the oath of office.
Thank you. We have Mr. Judge Jamie D'Angelo here.
Who would you like to do?
How about front and center?
Here?
Yep, that would be fine.
All together, separately, doesn't matter to me. They can bring up whoever they would like to hold a Bible or a family Bible.
Would you like to hear a preference? All together or separately? Separate? Okay.
Whoever would like, who's first on the list?
First on the list is Mrs. Barnes.
Ma'am? You have anyone here?
No.
All right. Would you like to hold the Bible? Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Christina Barkus, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth, and that I will discharge the duties of my office as school board member with fidelity. Congratulations. You'll sign, I'll sign.
Next we have Melissa Drew. Mrs. Drew.
Mrs. Booth. Mrs. Booth or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and that I will discharge the duties of my office as school board member with fidelity. Mr. Freeze? I, James Freeze II, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and that I will discharge the duties of my office as school board director with fidelity.
Yep, you're one now, Mr. Clancy.
I, William Kleinfelder, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and that I will discharge the duties of my office as school board director with fidelity.
Thank you, Judge.
You'll get a formal picture.
Welcome, Mrs. Booth. Give a second. We'll get you set up between you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. That'll move us to item 7.1, nominations for president. This time I'll take nominations for president for the next year, for a term of 1 year. Are there any nominations for president?
Mrs. Carvine, I would like to nominate Mr. Freeze.
Thank you.
Any other nominations for president? At this point, we'll nominate Mr. Freeze for president. Take a motion for that. Somebody? Move to close, thanks. Move to close nominations. At this point, we make a motion to nominate Mr. Freeze, or to elect Mr. Freeze as president.
Make the motion.
Second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Freeze, you're going to run the rest of the meeting. Come on over.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for the nomination for me to be school board president. I'd like to continue on with the good governance that this board has acted on for many, many years, and also to thank the past president, Mr. Hughes, for a wonderful job in the last year that you've done here. I'd also like to thank Mr. Stone and your role here to help out as well. At this time, we would like to request item number 9.1, which is the nominations for vice president. Are there any nominations at this time for vice president?
Yes, Mr. Freeze, I nominate Mr. Lecoff.
We have a motion on the floor from Mr. Lecoff. Are there any other nominations? Seeing that there's no other nominations for that position, do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
Second by Mrs. DeLulu. All in favor of Mr. Lecoff, excuse me, all in favor of Mr. Lecoff being the vice president? At this time, any discussion prior to? No? Okay. At this time, we take a vote, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion has been passed. I'm just going through this here. It's the first time I've seen this one.
You're fine.
Congratulations, Mr. Lecoff. Oh, that's all
Ask Jamie's name.
Thanks for your service. Don't let the door hit you. Thank you to my colleagues for entrusting this office to me. I promise to execute my office with fidelity and do all that I can to assist Mr. Freeze in the conduct of the meetings, etc. Thank you very much.
The next agenda item is number 10.1, the committee appointments. I'm going to state that the existing committee and committee appointments will function until new committees and new committee members have been designated and appointed by the president. Alternatively, these committee appointments will be requested of each board member of what their requests are, and we'll make that decision very rapidly. Are there any comments from the board at this current time?
I would just like to say I'm very glad to be here and honored to be able to serve with all of you. Oh, I have a microphone. Yes.
Right here.
Okay, I'd just like everybody to know I'm very honored to be here and very enthused serving with all the other members of this board and for this school district, and thank you for that honor.
Well, we welcome you, Mrs. Booth, and we look forward to working with you here at our school.
Thank you.
Mr. Freeze, just
Yes.
one more comment. I'd like to take a minute to say thank you to Dr. Christian, Mrs. Crumrine, and Mrs. Brady for all their support this year, my colleagues on the board for all your support this year, and specifically Mr. Stone as his function as vice president provided a lot of support this year. So I think it was a great year, and I appreciate everybody's help and work.
One more comment. Pardon me for being just a little bit too clever and neglecting to say thank you for your service this year. I know that it's always extra work. People don't realize it till they're sitting in this chair. Likewise, thank you, Mr. Stone, for what you've done.
Are there any other comments from the board members at this time? Section 12.1, comments from the superintendent of schools, Dr. Christian.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze. Congratulations to you and Mr. Lecoff as being the new president and vice president. I'd like to welcome Mrs. Booth to the Board of School Directors. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Mrs. Ettinger for her years of service to the children and residents of the Ellen J. Roberts School District. And finally, thank you, Mr. Stone and Mr. Hughes, for your service. I look forward to working with the board through the rest of this year and into 2014. That's all I have. Thank you.
Item number 13.1, public comments. information, proposal statements, and/or questions from individuals or delegates pertaining to any item. Speakers are to indicate their name and township of residence. Speakers will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. And the final one is item number 14.1, which is adjournment. So we would need a motion for that. Moved by Mr. Lakoff, second by Mr. Hughes. That ends the first meeting. Okay?